Okay, it's a mamish, a beautiful, beautiful morning. It's the beginning of summer. There's no better way to start a good week than spending it together, learning Torah on a Sunday morning. Mamish hayom kotzav malach meruba because I actually accidentally I left the date on the thing Yud Sivan, which is still within the Mei Shlom of Shavuos. So the thing is that the whole month is really Chodesh Hashlishi. So around Shavuos time, I had three questions that were very interesting questions that had to do with milchik and fleishik and always Shavuos. I was thinking like right after Shavuos, but last week, whatever, something else came up. But I want to get back because I want it to be mine also in it, really, because it's sorifim, these three shua, the main the first shaila, and it's very, very common. These three questions that I recently got, they're not like, questions that Emal Nayovel. The first question is basically my daughter said that the cook in the school said that they use the fryer for schnitzel, and they fry schnitzel, and then they fry the French fries on the same oil. And she just said that if it's a big difference, if it's the same or not the same oil, that's part of the answer.
It's definitely the same. It takes a lot of oil to dry to refill.
Could be they did the French fries first. Anyway, he says in the same fryer we do the French fries and we do the schnitzel. So you're fleishik for 6 hours. It's like some schools can have these lunches. It's like a little bit of a headache. You have to, you can't spontaneously have a milk supper. So
talk to Mashiach in the school to get the official answer.
She's asking a rabbi.
Well,
so
we talk to you. She would talk to you anyway as your father. But,
so the question was again that the cook says the same fryer is used for schnitzel and for French fries. Now, the shaila, we're already dealing with it. So the shaila is anytime you bought something in a fleishik deli, potato kugel, kasha knish, anything you bought in a fleishik deli, that was made in fleishik kalim and sat in a fleishik oven and possibly together with fleishik cooking at the same time. Maybe there was reach, maybe there was zayah, maybe something a little bit spilled from here to there. So how do you treat it, lagabe? If you had first meat, if you had something that's first milchik, so taka to it's a minig labavish to keep an hour. Why? Because the Zoya says to wait between milk and meat shaitachad 1 hour, which is a kula and a chumra. It's a kula when it comes after meat and it's a chumra. So obviously we take the chumra part of it, not the kula part of it. But it's the same. So the same for Lubavitchers that keep an hour after milk or after cheese. It would be the same thing. So if something was made in a pizza shop, we'll give the zaba shayla. If you had French fries, it was made in the fryer, and the same fryer could have cheese in it. Or if you had potato knish, but the potato knish could have gone into the same pizza oven. So now do I need to wait an hour? I don't have to wait an hour. Okay. Let's read. Sagt die Gemara, pulling daf kufay. Sagt the Bryce, Maim Rishon and Machran Machayva. I'm saying Rishus, Amar Nachman, and Loishanu, element tafshel tafshel. And we said it's Rishus, it's between one tafshel and another tafshel. Tafshel, it means a chayva. Now it's a chayva to wash your hands. Sagt the Toisves. That's what he's saying. That's what I'm saying. Maim Rishonim is before you wash your hands to eat a moitzi lechem and oretz. Maim Acharonim is before Bichas Hamazon to get rid of the melech tzedaimis. And Maim Emsoyim is not clear what's Maim Emsoyim. So he says, what does Maim Emsoyim mean? That you had tafshil a tafshil, one tafshil, another tafshil. What kind of tafshilim did you have? So this is going to be machlokes and toisus. The first shit and toisus is going to say you had two slices of pizza. So you don't have to wash your hands in between, but you derech eretz if you want. Between one slice of pizza and the other slice of pizza, you can wash your hand. And the Rabbeinu Tam is livid. How can you say such a pshat? The Gemara is telling me, you know what? Between one slice of pizza and the other slice of pizza, if you want, you can wash your hands. This is what the Gemara came to tell me. So Rabbeinu Tam comes up with a moide de kekula tafshil. Tafshil means a tafshil shel basar, a tafshil shel gevina. And what does it mean, tafshil shel basar, tafshil? And this is where all the poskim are arguing. So some of the early poskim held that if you took an egg and you fried it in schmaltz, in chicken schmaltz, in duck schmaltz, in fat, so that's called tafshil shel basar. You don't have to wait 6 hours now. We wait 6 hours. Ben basar legvina. Wait 6 hours. So the early minig was, and the early poskim, that to be making like a time. So to the extent that if they fried an egg in schmaltz, didn't wait 6 hours. Just wash their hands. Just wash their hands again. If they wanted to have gevina, if they want to have a tafshil, they didn't even wash their hands. Yeah. Mamish kula shebekula. Well, we don't ask in this way, but you have to understand the sugya from the Yesod. Okay, so let's learn the Tosfos. Omer Rabbeinu Shmuel, the mighty b'shneim shel basar, b'shneim shel gvina. When do we say it's rishus to wash your hands? By tafshil l'shavshil, if there's both basar and both gvina. By shavshil l'basar l'gvina shel afonav. If you had first a piece of gvina, then you want to have a tafshil shel basar. That's fine, but if you have first gvina, first basar and then gvina, loy kamar, the fiddle until sidai masa lechel at sudacheres can mean leo. Achel basar also lechel gvina. So if you first had basar or a tafshil shel basar, you have to wait 6 hours for gvina. You have to wait till sudacheres, whatever sudacheres means. It means we hold that sudacheres means two things. You have to bench, plus you have to wait 6 hours. Rabbeinu Tam doesn't like this pshat. The tafshil gvina mashma tafshil tchila. You're telling me that tafshil gvina chayva means that he had first gvina. It's not true. The words of the Gemara is with tafshil gvina. First he had the tafshil shel basar, and then he has the gvina. What are you telling me? The Kollel kamayashem basar gvina v'lay klum. Because first the word is basar. V'porich v'amar chiz the akol basar also lechel gvina. Kamayashem ben gvina l'basar. Okay. So you say, I don't like the way you're attaching in the words of the Gemara. I don't understand. The Gemara is telling you Hilchas derech eretz. Gemara is telling you, I think, that if you have 2 slices of pizza, that you have issues to wash your hands in between. I need the Gemara to tell me. I need Reb Nachman to come along to tell me that if you have 2 slices of pizza, you have issues that you're allowed to wash your hands in between the 2 slices of pizza. So mefarish should have been a time the bein tafshil hainu bein tafshil the possible tafshil shul gvina.
By the way, something I don't understand is, I thought you were encouraging us that if it's flour and water with pizza, we even wash our hands before the first slice.
No, it's for cleanliness. For cleanliness.
Okay.
For cleanliness. So the Rabbeinu Tam saying that according to the Shmuel said that bein tafshil latafshil rishus means if he had 2 meat knishes or 2 cheese knishes, that if you want to be a nice, clean person and you wash your hands, you have rishus to add to what? I don't understand. Well, this is what the Gemara came to tell me. Hilchas derech eretz and asuda. It really doesn't sound that way. So therefore, the Rabbeinu Tam said the second taina of the Rabbeinu Tam is like a very strong taina. Therefore, mefarish Rabbeinu Tam bein tafshil hainu bein tafshil the basar tafshil shul gvina. Even the ein abasar v'gvina bein like elatam lo yichmidu shechay b'litl yada bein taim bein ela rishus. They were makel because it's not a mamish, a piece of meat and a piece of cheese. So they said, you don't even have to wash your hands in between. If you want to wash your hands, we'll say you're a chosid. It's nice. Avo bein tafshil the basar l'gvina if you have first a tafshel shel basar, and then you want to have a mamash a piece of gvina, shekvina be'ain, chayva to wash your hands. Huh? No, you had a tafshel shel basar. Imamish touches the words Gemara beautiful. I'm being tafshel gvina. If you had a tafshel shel basar, huh? Just and then you want to have a piece of gvina, then taki you're mechuyev to wash your hands. But that's it, just to wash your hands, not even to clean your mouth. And he says that I've been a time. V'yitochim Peter zeh, or the Tosfos says, v'yitochim Peter zeh, aflo divra oiser melechel gvina achar basar, boisa suda afila benatila v'kinua. Even we're Rabbeinu Tam is mekel. Rabbeinu Tam says is that you have after gvina you could have basar mamish. After basar, just have to wash your mouth and wash your hands. We hold no. After basar you have to wait masuda l'suda, and we say it means two things. You have to bench plus wait 6 hours. And then Rabbeinu Tam, no, but Rabbeinu Tam had two huge coolers. But the Tosfos was saying you don't have to. They're not like linked like this. Rabbeinu Tam said after meat you only have to wash your mouth and your hands. Yeah, boys suda. He didn't say boys suda, and you have to bench. You have to wait. So we don't follow Rabbeinu Tam. Tosfos is saying, but by the way, don't think that these two things are linked with Rabbeinu Tam. We hold it has to be masuda l'suda. After you have meat, number one you have to bench. Number two you have to wait 6 hours. Okay, but this Inyan that he held, here, Nachum, you have a vote. So this thing that he holds, by tafshel is not linked. So we could hold like the Rabbeinu Tam, it's a different the Gemara. Over there is Kama Yasha ben Basal Gvina. We're talking about real Basal and real Gvina. So and here is a different Amar of Nachman and Tafshalam. So you could even hold the one, you can hold like the other. It's very important. And it's going to be very important to our discussion today. Because we know it's ironclad. We don't follow Rabbeinu Tam. When it comes after eating meat, we know you have to be mesudasa l'sudasa, which means two things. You got to bench and you got to wait 6 hours. And it's ironclad. So Tosfos is saying, hey, wait a minute. This other thing at Rabbeinu Tam that says if you have two tafshilim, tafshil shabasa and then tafshil gvina, that it's a reshus to wash your hands. If you have tafshil shabasa then a piece of gvina, it's a choyva to wash your hands. But all you got to do is wash your hands. You don't have to wash your mouth. You don't have to wait 6 hours. We could also hold of that. Okay. It's important to know because when you want to later be makel, because there are places that are makel on this. So to understand that this is a separate issue. Why is it a separate issue? Because this is exaded. This thing of waiting is exaded chacham. So we could say the chachamim said when you mamish eat a piece of a cheese and a mamish a piece of meat. So if you ate first a piece of cheese, you don't have to go like klum, but you got to wash your hands and wash your mouth. Chabad waits an hour. If you ate first a piece of meat, it has to be mesudasa, which means that's what chachamim said. But heim amru. When we're not talking any in din derais over here. Chachamim were very scared about cooking basar b'cholim, so they made a lot of gzeiros about basar b'cholim. They're very, very concerned about. So chachamim made a lot of gzeiros here. Okay, but they have the right to put the lines where the gzeira goes. So they said that this, waiting 6 hours is only if your mamish have a piece of meat. But a tafshil shel basar, and then you want to have a tafshil shel gvina, no problem. If you want to have a piece of gvina, just about wash your hands and you're good. That's the Rabbeinu Tam. Let's read the Bach. So according to this, it would seem that the French dress is not a big problem. Even according to Rabbeinu Tam, if you say that if they fried the schnitzel first, you could look at the schnitzel like a chicken soup. So, but even that, I think Rabbeinu Tam would be fine. Rabbeinu Tam would be fine. No, Rabbeinu Tam would be fine. Yeah. Especially if you read now the Bach and you see it's not worse. The Bach brings that the early poskim said if you fry your egg in schmaltz, that's a tafshil. So the oil is not schmaltz. The oil is canola oil. It's vegetable oil. Whatever it is. Okay. The Bach says, "Benida the tafshil shel basar, heinishin is bashal basar imam begdeida." What does it mean a tafshil shel basar? That they cooked it together in a pot. No, sorry, I'm sorry. That it was cooked together in a pot. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was cooked together in a pot. A knedel. It's unbelievable how cool it is. It was cooked. You had a chicken soup and you had a knedel inside. You ate just the knedel, not the chicken. You don't have to wait 6 hours. If you're talking about that you cooked it in a kedei shalbasar, havalei, not barnat, that would be considered not barnat. So the din is, the problem is that all the achreinim later slug this up. The Shach also says this. The Gemara says, "Dogim shalom b'kaidim sh'talochlam mekutach." That if you have a fish on a fleshike kaida, a hot fleshike plate, and you have fish on it, you're allowed to take that and dip it in kutach. Kutach was like a type of mixture that there was like a sour cream. It was a sour cream that they used to make. So but the problem is, there's a machlokes at Rishon. We'll learn this in a second. Oh, okay. They made it with mold. There was some green cheese. It was a really geschmacke dish. It was a dip called kutach. So almost as good as tomato sauce. So the kutach was in the time of the Shas a very popular dip, and it was made with cheese. So whatever, let's call it sour cream. So really it was a sour cream, but not what you think of sour cream. Anyway, so these fish you can dip in the sour cream. Came from a fleshik plate. So we say now that the tam gets diluted. It's nois and tam, bar nois and tam. It's a cold thing. 1 second. It's nois and tam, bar nois and tam. The tam gets diluted. The flesh, the tam goes into the plate, and then it goes into the fish. Vadayin shel heter. Everything is still heter. It's not no iser. And now you want to dip it into the sour cream. Not a problem. Because that's the golden rule. Not barnat. Not barnat means that the tam got diluted. It's nois and tam, bar nois and tam. The tam from a tam. The tam went into the plate. It's kosher. It's meat. It's kosher. The tam went from the plate into the fish. It's kosher. Vadayin shel heteru. Now you're going to ask me if I'm allowed to dip it into the sour cream. You say the tam of the meat and the fish is so diluted and so weak that you're allowed to dip it in. Oh, but the problem is, there's a machlokes that Rishonim, the Sfardim are mekel, the Ashkenazim are machmir. What does it mean? They hold dogim afilan is bashlu b'kaida, even if it was cooked or baked. Even if it was cooked and baked, like in a fleshike, if the pot was clean, and you cooked it or baked it in the fleshike pot, so you're allowed to dip that fish into kutach. And the others say, no. Come on, that's too much. The other Rishonim, and we pass on the chumrah, it only if you cook the fish in a fleshke pot, you fried it, you roasted it, you can't dip it in the kutach. But if it was just a hot fleshke plate, not that you cooked it, it was just on the table, a hot fleshke plate, and you put the fish in there, and it was gravy, b'chulu. Now that's when we say that the tam, when it is diluted, it went into the tam of the meat went into the plate and the fish with shaleter. But if it was cooked, no way. Okay. So if you hold
culture because of the heat, the current heat, understand what Rabbi's saying. So because it was cooked, even if it got cold now, or because it's hot now?
Yeah. No, because it was cooked. While it was cooked, it was the heat makes that the taste is strong, so it goes from the pot into the fish.
Has to be yatsalas boy.
More than that, it's cooked. How do you cook food if it's not yatsalas boy?
Or there be concern.
Oh, on the plate, yeah, obviously it was yatsalas, but it was less, wouldn't have been a shiloh. Yeah. Okay. So this is what the Bach is saying. According to the opinion that not barnat is, even if it was nizbashul, even if it was cooked. So if I cooked fish in a fleshike pot, I'm allowed to dip it in to put the sour cream. So you're telling me that I don't have to wait 6 hours? I'm allowed to dip it in. So what kind of chiddush are you telling me? What's Rabbi Natan coming to tell me? He's trying to give me something akula. What's the kula? It has to be a bigger kula than not barnat. What's the kula? I don't hear the kula here. It has to be a bigger kula. Kula here is that even if there was real meat in this pot, it was a chont. I didn't eat the meat. I just eat the potato from the chont. So this potato, you're not allowed chas v'sholom to put this potato into sour cream. You can't take a potato from a chont and say, oh, there's no meat. What's the difference? It was cooked with the meat. The time of the meat is in the potato. You're not allowed to dip it into sour cream. Chas v'sholom. But if you ate the potato and then you want to eat sour cream, it's mutter. Elamai, you have to wash your hands.
You don't have to wash your mouth?
No. That's the Rabbeinu Tam Shita. That's the Rabbeinu Tam Shita. And that's what the Bach is saying. The older Meforshim ask on the Bach and the Shach, that's not what you're saying. But we don't paskin that way. We paskin that not barnat is only if the fish was olabakad. If it was cooked, you're not allowed to dip it in kutach. So maybe the Rabbeinu Tam held like us, that if you cooked fish in a flesh kapat, it's also to mix in the kutach. It's also to eat in the kutach. But if you're gonna wash your hands, you can eat the kutach right afterwards. That's what they ask to slug up the kula of the bach and the shach. Now, if you ask me, I don't think it's the biggest shaila in the world for two reasons. The main thing is it's midivreim nishma. It's like, so now you have to put Rabbeinu Tam in a box and say that the Rabbeinu Tam holds very chumradik lagabe not barnat. But why? Mi al makilim nishma la machmirin. I don't see this kasha. Why would I say that? Makilim nishma la machmirin. Right, exactly. That's nichel what I'm saying. Okay, but you could say, oh, this you can't say. It's not like the Rabbeinu Tam had a big thing on his forehead. I'm the big makel. You could argue, but even though you see in Basa B'Kollel, it's very making. But okay, I'm saying, but even Balavachi, the truth is Taki feels that way. Rabbeinu Tam is a big makel here, and all of a sudden you're putting him in the box of the Machmidim. But I mean, why are you putting the Rabbeinu Tam in a box? He didn't. Rabbeinu Tam should be always gehalten according to everyone. So just like the Rishonim that say that Apadat is Nizba, even is Bashlu, even the fish was cooked in flesh kapat, you can dip it into kuta. So you're gonna have to say according to them that Rabbeinu Tam said a bigger kula now. So even the other opinion will be mas. Yeah. So okay, no, I'm saying even the other opinion that the one that's machmir, they say that the fish that is cooked at flesh kapat, you're not allowed to dip into kuta. So all the Meforshim are asking, so no, maybe the Rabbeinu Tam holds like them on the issue of not barnat. Yeah, maybe. So I'm saying, first of all, it doesn't feel right. Second of all, why are you putting the Rabbeinu Tam in a box? How do you know how the Rabbeinu Tam holds? According to those Rishonim, how did they learn the Rabbeinu Tam? They for sure learned the Rabbeinu. Everyone learned the Rabbeinu Tam. You see, the Toys at the end says, by the way, this kula Rabbeinu Tam we could all agree to. So how did they? Right, this Toy. So how did those Rishonim that say the dogim shala b'kaya means you cook the fish and flesh kapat, you can mamish dip it into sour cream. How did they learn the kula Rabbeinu Tam more? So the other ones, okay, we disagree with what not but we're not going to disagree what's a pshat in Rabbeinu Tam. Okay, let's read the Bachin event. Let's read it quick. The tafshil shabosed hainush and his bashal bosed imoy. The kula here of the Rabbeinu Tam is that if you took a potato out of the chont, you don't have to wait 6 hours. You just have to, if you're going to eat a piece of cheese, you have to wash your hands. If you're going if it's not barnat, why do you have to wash your hands? It's not an issue of not barnat, he says over here. Don't talk to me about not barnat. The kula over here is not a kula of not barnat. If you're going to hold like the Rivan, that there's machmer like we Ashkenazim, that not barnat is not bainas bashlu. If sherloimer, read the words carefully. If sherloimer, if you want to kvetch me, you could say according to the Rivan, the hochamayde begdede shel basar. The osalachel cholavimay. Ela dafke laacher of the shari. Aber lechol shara goinem. I feel that the feeling is bash lima shori macholok it'll come on simon tzadikei hochav vade mayde bedavshach and is bash lebasa imay. I think what the Bach is saying. I think I'm saying what the Bach is saying, that true that everyone has a different shot, but most of the Rishonim learned That not parnat means even if you cook the fish in a fleshke pot. So the Rabbeinu Tam has to tell me a bigger chiddush than that. If you cook fish in a fleshke pot, I'm allowed to dip it into kutach. So what's the Rabbeinu Tam telling me? I'm allowed to eat the kutach afterwards. It has to be that the fish was cooked in a fleshke pot and there was also meat in it. That's what he's saying. Or shlokis b'shuman. You cooked a soup, chicken soup, and the vegetables you ate, and you didn't eat the meat. It's mutar lechel kvina achekach al yidei kinuach v'adocha l'chol hapirushim ad kan l'shoiner. Inami ochem eirishim bashal b'kderi shel basar shelo yehudach yof da b'tzas me'moshe shliser. Da'af agav the bottle hu b'miyut imekol makom also l'achol b'chola. The lo yitiru elonat barnat v'lo yeched ikem me'moshe. Aval acher shari. In second pshat, which is the pshat, the pshat is also going to say, if when do we say not barnat with the very clean pot? What happens if the fleshke pot happens to have a little bit of dirt on it? There's still a little pieces of meat in the pot. So over there we don't say not barnat. You have to wait if you can't dip this fish into sour cream. You cooked it in a fleshke pot, there were pieces of meat in the pot.
24 hours in there.
Yeah, unless the guy sat there for 7 weeks and was nifsel.
But they can have the fish itself then?
Okay, so tofu, not fish, tofu. So he says that over here the kula is that even though he cooked the fish in this pot and it had 3 pieces of meat, so you can't dip it into kuta, but you could eat afterwards a piece of cheese if you clean your hands. Miu b'mordchai al shem Rabbi oisel lechel gwin afil lechel beitzim l'kokonim b'shum shalavs b'shum gzeida. The Mordechai brings that chumra not to do that. Gam b'tshuvas hagoyim misav ezel l'shoynai. And he also lechel cholav acha dogim v'sholem mishum time shebeporu ubekeora. That he said that Tshuvas hagoyim said that I don't know which it is. Can be the balatoisos because this Tshuvas hagoyim, whatever. There was a Rabbeinu Yitzchak among the Yonim, or Rabbeinu Yaakov among the Yonim that said that if you cooked fish in a fleshke pot, you can't eat cholav afterwards. So the Yonim said v'tzarech lamed amayir beporer bekeora shelo hutchu yof these be mamoshe shel basar kilo ochal basar atzmai yafik chosal achal of cholav. And even that chumri yiseidihi the lacher of pshita the shari the kavanas battle b'miyutik the pirashti. Bekach matzosi b'shem God lechet the kotz v'lach tshuvas hagonim ono lo shamanu chumru zu ve'in toifs kanoi seikir at kan l'shoynek. So he says the Gaonim, they said that if you cook fish in a fleshke pot, you can't eat afterwards milk. It must be talking about that there were pieces of meat in here. And even that's a big chumrah, and there's no reason to follow it. However, the nogu oilam shaloi lechel gvina achat afshel shal basar afal yedei kinuach v'adocha ve'en lifritz gede v'chinkos beis yosa b'archaim tchila sim kufayin gimel ein sham. Aber the ein sham basar elish in his bashal b'gedei shal basar afal b'shaloi hudach yochel ein lahachmer kede pirash. So that's the Bach's conclusion. He said that really the Rabbeinu Tam we should follow Rabbeinu Tam. But there are those that were machmer and didn't follow Rabbeinu Tam. The way I'm reading the Bach is not the pshat that they fasting like Rabbeinu Shmuel and Toisus. They just felt that it's a little too much. People, if you're going to tell your wife that she could fry the eggs in chicken schmaltz or in duck schmaltz, and you're not going to have to wait 6 hours, and your kids are going to see that, before you know it, they're going to be eating a cheeseburger. Yeah, so therefore the minig Yisrael, it's not even a minig Yisrael is to say, yes, thank you Rabbeinu Tam for giving me this pshat in the Gemara, but it doesn't look good. But takazoi, if the pot was a fleshke pot and it had a little bit of meat in it, and you cooked something in it, you don't have to wait 6 hours. You could consider that a tafshil shell basar. And if you want to eat afterwards a piece of gavina, all you got to do is wash your hands. Right, so that according to Rabbeinu Tam, even the potatoes, you don't have to wait 6 hours. But we don't follow that. We don't go with sola kuladik. But still, we'll say that we're going to be makel. 2 things we're going to be making. Us Ashkenazim, we don't, if it was cooked, we don't do not parnat. So we're going to be making, and we'll say, and this everyone is going to can't argue with this. This everyone's going to agree that if it was cooked in a fleshka pot, you don't have to wait 6 hours. Clean. If it's clean, I'm saying number one. This no one can disagree with this. That if it was cooked in if it was cooked in a fleshka pot and the pot was clean, that you don't have to wait afterwards 6 hours. You don't have to wait afterwards 6 hours. The truth is that most of the stuff that you buy, you buy cooked potato kugel in a fleshka place. What do you think? You think when they put in the potato kugel in the pan, there's little pieces of meat there? That's a cleanliness. Well, today they have, and Julio is not even washing the dishes. The dishwasher is washing the
So
dishes.
you don't have to have chashash that maybe
The dishwasher is not going to make a mistake. The dishwasher washes it good. Elamai, you're going to tell me the oven, if it was the same time there was a potato kugel and also something else that was giving off zayah. They're making Wednesday night or Thursday they're making their potato kugels. So they fill up their ovens with trays after trays potato kugels. They're not cooking potato kugels in the oven at the same time as they're heating up chomp.
and in someone's house they could be making chicken and kugel in the same oven at the same time. In one of our homes.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that now. I'm talking right now. I'm talking about now if you go into Mechi's Deli and you can a very vital shash, and then you can always rely on the Rabbeinu Tam. You can always rely on the Rabbeinu Tam here, but it's a vital shash, so therefore you could rely on the Rabbeinu Tam. So if you go into Mechi's Deli and you're buying something which is part of potato kugel, auction kugel, potato knishes,
Vegetable soup,
all these things that are part of it. Exactly. So it's a chash to say when they made the vegetable soup that the pot really had a few pieces of bossa still on it, or when they cooked it that it spritzed. It's a chash. It's a very chash. So that's for sure that afterwards you can have gvina. You don't have to wait 6 hours. The shaila is if like in your house when you did do it in the same oven and the same time that you had the potato kugel there, you also had a pan with a chicken. Chicken gives off zayah, or other things that give off zayah, or that's where or tak in a fryer. So in a fryer like this, if you know for sure that they fried the chicken, you know for sure that first they fried the chicken and then they did the French fries. Oh, the problem is that most places they use it. So you could safely assume that if you went into a fleshik place or milchik place and you had French fries, that the same oil was used for cheese or for meat. So now this is already getting a little dicey. Now it's getting dicey. Why? Because they don't change the oil for weeks. So this
that could be a separate problem.
That could be a separate problem. So this oil, if you get into a fleshik place and you bought French fries, this oil could be more fleshik than your chicken soup. So it has tam basar, an unbelievable amount of tam basar. It's like taking a knedel out of a chicken soup and saying, do I have to wait 6 hours? Yeah, Rabbeinu Tam says it's a tafshel shel basar, but we don't follow Mamash Rabbeinu Tam completely. So let's read it in the Shulchan Aruch. Ari, you got it? Here, Shulchan Aruch, Siman Pei Tesiv Gimel. You see?
Yeah.
Achel tafshel shel basar, mutar lechel acharav tafshel shel gevina. If you had first a tafshel shel basar, then a tafshel shel gevina, no problem. Until b'dein el rishus. Oh, the Rama says no. Yesh matzrichim natila. Avo im balechel gevina atzmach tafshel shel basar. Oya basar atzmach tafshel shel gevina. Choy a little yadav. If you have first a tafshel shel basar, and then you want to have a piece of gvina, you have to wash your hands. But that's it. You don't have to wait 6 hours. Anything, you just have to wash your hands. The God says, "Shuman shel basar dinik basar atzmai." Don't tell me like those poskim, the early poskim that said that if you fry your egg in the schmaltz, that's nothing. No, shuman shabasa is like boss. Okay. The nogo achsham lahachmir shaloi lechel gmina acher tafshel acher tafshel bosa. That we are minig is not to go like the Rebbeinu Tam. We don't eat gmina after tafshel bosa. Ve'ein l'shanas v'lifritz geder. It's also to be pointed to this geder. This is our minig. What does it mean? Why is he saying so many words? Why is he saying so many words? The halacha is like Rabbeinu Shmuel. He's saying so many words because really it seems to me the halacha is noita like Rabbeinu Tam. Elamai, our minig is we took on the minig not to be noya completely like Rabbeinu Tam, and therefore he's saying that this thing is no agul achshav lahachmir ve'ein l'shanas v'lifritz geder. If there was no basar in the tafshel, rak shenizbashel b'gdeir shel basar. You mean basar b'tafshel. If there's no basar, rak shenizbashel b'gdeir shel basar. Muter lechel acher of gevina. The aim by minig lahach. Over there is no minig to be machrin. It was only gdeir shel basar. Over there's no minig lahachmin. So you can be make. Our minig is that if there was a tafshel sheyesh b'gvina, and then you want to have miu, yeshlitul yad b'nei, you have to wash your hands, because that the Rabbi Shmuel said that if you have a tafshel shel gvina, tafshel basar, then you want to eat basar gvina, you have to be yoitul yad. Afilu lo yoichel basar mamash, like tafshel shel basar, after tafshel shel gvina, naga yad b'hem. You should wash your hands. No. Yeah, so that I'm up. Okay. A little thing that I'm wondering, it says, Miu yesh little yodu beinayim. Does that go back on also what he said? If you're going to have, he said, V'chein noigen lechel basar achatav shel sheyesh b'gvina echolov, Miu yesh little beinayim. That if you have a tafshel that has in their gvina or cholov, and then you want to have a piece of basa, you have to wash your hands. Does that go? That miu yeshnu together? Is that going back on the thing that he said before? That if you cook something in a fleish kapat and then you want to have a piece of gvina, that you're allowed to do it, but you have to wash your hands. I'm not sure. You could say not. Huh? Okay. The Shach says, "The Kamon Reish Simon Tzadik is born." Da viele Lochlem gewinnen Mutter, da haben not barnat. Wenn ihr dort das bin noch der Mutter Lochlem gewinnen, ach ich kein viel und das Baschel begedere shel Yehud Chayof, da habe ich Tsas Moshe Shalisa bekay gavna. Also Lochlem gewinnen kommen vor der Sham bishar Yach. So the Shach is saying basically what I told you before. The Shach says that if there are opinions that say that if you cook the fish in a fleish kapat, you can dip it into sour cream. So what are you telling me? What are you telling me? That I'm allowed to eat sour cream afterwards? So he said the chiddush over here is that the pot was a little bit dirty. But oh. So what level of dirty? So let's look at the Pesach Tshuva. Not that it's bottled b'shishim. That there is taka. There's taka meat. What's the chiddush? It's bottled b'shishim. Well, if he's pshita the tafshel shusim by ma'at shuman, mutalech lacharim gevina afim lo yoy shishim gneged shuman. The Pesach Tshuva says, if you put a little bit of shuman in here, it's still called a tafshel shel basar. You don't have to wait 6 hours. Very cool of it. The Pesach Tshuva based on the Shach. To turn the page, there's a choshev, a place called the Yad Yehuda in Yehuda. And he writes, he disagrees with this. He says, "Agam de benois and shuman l'tafshel bavadi also lach gvina tibrem okan." Turn the page, Yad Yehuda, right in the top. Shani sham kiven the nois and shuman bechim loch lekachna shekebos mamash was lach gvina shelo yobet lach beyachet. Mashenkin kan denk when as klal lechel ze adra bederech bnei adam lahakbet ladich yofa mishum nekiyus. Achzel lo tarach ladich yofa kiven shenkin when as lachil stama bos klal ein lik ze bosh lach gvina. Zer shedikte kashach v'koyos shelo yehut yofa. The Havik Tzas Mamosha Shalisa, the Vadim Nisher Behedya Beim Bosar Ishuman, Umavashal Boy, Alzelo Kamer, Alahech, the Lotorach, Ladich, Yofel, Aser Akoil, the Loka that he Yisi Echo Chetor. Who's the Echo Chetor? This is the problem. It's basically true that I just read to you. Harbe, the cause of Lahate Machmazah, Gamim Noisim, Bechivin, Shuman, Latavshal. He's saying, this that you read in the piece of Tshuva, that according to the Shach, what happens, you have in the same, you're cooking your house, and there's a few pots and a little bit of you have vegetable soup, but a little bit of chicken soup spilled into it, or in the same oven, and there was zaya going around. So he says, the Piskei Tshuva says, no problem. He says, no. Be medayik in the Shach. When the Shach was making, why did he say, I don't like this diuk that much, but I have to explain what he's saying. He's saying that the Shach was saying like this. Listen. The Yaduda was a big person. Yaduda was the Rav in Sadegere. The first Sadegere Rebbe appointed him the Rav. His name is Rabbi Bishlanda, and he was in the Bismani, was from the biggest person. This is like 100 years ago. Yeah. It was recently reprinted, so I was looking. The Shmuel Auerbach gave us comment writes that Zmani, he was considered one of the biggest poskim. But today, it's those are learning here today. It's a very choshev safe. So you have to hear it's a good svara. Saying like this: Chum said, if you eat meat, I want you to wait 6 hours. How big? I don't care. I ate a tiny piece of meat. Oh yeah, I just tasted the beef jerky. Okay, sorry, you got to wait 6 hours. You gotta wait 6 hours. It's coming on. You gotta wait. Here is different. The guy gave the pot to Julio to wash. And Julio he gave atzlan, and he didn't wash it out well. And now we made a vegetable soup. This the Chachamim should be machmin and say you have to wait 6 hours. But we know you gave Julio the pot to wash it. And Lamai is a goyish cup, and he didn't wash it well. Come on. Now you're going to be machmet to say he has to wait 6 hours. You gave it to him to wash. Okay, but so what should we do? I'll find you. Next time I'll get Amigo. But I'm trying to clean up that. So that's his deal in the Shach.
That only be seven. Wouldn't you look at Chila? You have a little clean in the vegetable soup, extend it, and have a little piece of meat vegetable soup pot.
Right.
It's only the
it's only the evidence because he wanted to go back. I don't know. The people doesn't talk to me so strongly because the Shach was saying that if the pot was clean, that's not barnab. That the pot was a little dirty. He was just giving dukma nokat. Okay, but anyway, the Yadud is a very important posek. I'm just showing you. He himself disagrees with the Shach afterwards. He says, "Bam is divrei Shach im tamuim koshema koshotama el yed rabba and the minchas Yaakov." A lot of choshev poskim don't hold of the Shach. They disagree with the Shach. They say Lididan. They say they all these choshev poskim. By the way, those that disagree with the Shach. So what happened was, in my mind I was thinking Lakula, and I remember the Shach. So, but before I paskin, I said, let me think about it. My daughter asked me, and I said, let me think about it. So, health day, the next morning, I was walking into the mikvah, and who do I see? I see a younger man, Yaakov Barber, and he's been teaching for 20 years. He's teaching smicha. Yehudadeya. This guy knows Yehudadeya. Vidu veist asher yoshve veisechet. Mamash, he knows. When I was a learning teacher in Cab 27 years ago, and there were two kids that were mamish, they were like the sweetest kids in the world. And Michal Lerner and this guy Yaakov Barber. They were both like they were both like we didn't even have air conditioning and I couldn't how do you it's cruel little kids they learned and we were learning Gemara. And we were learning at 2 hours or something. But the camp didn't have air conditioning. These two kids, geschwitzt. They were learning. I'm telling you something unbelievable. They were little kids. I said, these kids are going to grow up something special. So I see Yaakov Barber, and I said, oh, the Shach is Mekel, right? He says, I'm telling you, you got to look. There's a Yad Yehuda, big Yad Yehuda. You have to give a look. And he told me another few nice Madam McCoymas. So in my mind, I haven't looked at the Sivan Pei test for many, many years. That was my mind. The Shach is Mekel. The Shach says that that's why it's important to look inside again. So in my mind, what do you mean? There's a Shach. I told him, isn't it the Shach in Sivan Pei test that says that the Chiddush is not only when the pot is clean, but even if the pot was a little bit dirty. So he said, look in the Yad Yehudi. He brings a lot of people that disagrees. He also disagrees. So I see he's right, that there are a lot of poskim that disagree with the Shach. In my mind, it was like, what do you mean? Who's me? Shach? We always pass them us, the Yidden that originally come from the Baltic states, from Russia, from Lithuania, that we pass them out of the Shach. Mamash Shach is Kodesh Kadoshim. The Yidden in Poland, they more go like the Taz. So us, we go like the Shach, Kodesh Kadoshim. But still, when you have a lot of poskim that come after the Shach that are very important poskim, the Yerabah, the Minchas Yaakov, the Minchas Yaakov, Chok Yaakov, and Hilchos Pesach, a very, very big poskim. They disagree with him. So the emphasis is like this. It depends. There's two ways of looking on the kula that Amos said. There's two ways of looking at it. One way of looking at the kula is that he said we don't want to follow the Rabbeinu Tam all the way. If you mamish, you fried your egg in schmaltz, and then you're not going to wait 6 hours, what's your daughter going to think when she's going to see that? But there's a little bit of schmaltz, a fryer, shine, don't worry about it. So if you learn it that way, that would be a big kula. But also you would have those shtickle chumra. If you're following that amount of time, at least you have to wash your if it's a tafshel shalbasa, then you really have to wash your hands. Yeah. And the other way of learning it is what I think the poskim achronim after the Shach are learning in the Ramah. They're learning that when the Ramah was Mekel, he wasn't Mekel a little bit like Rabbeinu Tam. We rejected the Rabbeinu Tam Hakel Bakel Mikkel. It's just we came up with a different kula. The Ramah is saying, even though I told you that we don't follow Nat Barnat, if you cooked fish in a fleshka pot, you're not allowed to dip it into sour cream. But that same fish, if you ate it, you can eat sour cream 1 minute later. You don't have to wash your hands. It's a kula. My shaila is when the Ramah was Mekel here. I didn't see anyone discussing it in these terms. But in my mind, this is really a very important shaila. When the Ramah here was Mekel, and he said in the Shulchan Aruch, we don't follow Rabbeinu Tam, miu, it means basar betafshel, reaction is like bashel, begedera shel basar, muter lech lacher, gvin of ein by minig lahach. What did he mean by ein by minig lahach? It's why we being Mekel. Is it a kula mitzad not barnat, or it's a kula mitzad? Is it mitzad kula in the din of dogim shala b'kaida, or is it a kula in Omer of Nachman loy shona ben tafshel tafshel? I mean, it would be if the pot is not so clean. If you're going to say that the Ramah meant to be Mekel, you're going to say that the Ramah basically. So we don't know. So basically, I'm saying that they're learning. Those that are arguing the Shach, they're learning that the Ramah was Mekel, not mitzat that we a little bit follow Rabbeinu Tam. Usually we say not barnat if it was cooked. We're mach. If you cooked fish in a fleshka pot, you're not allowed to dip it into sour cream. But if you want to eat sour cream afterwards, you're allowed to. So why would you say you have to wash your hands? And I asked later in the ship, it says miu yeshlim yod. Obviously, it's not going on this. If you learn it like them, but if you learn like it seems to me like the Bach that a little bit will make like Rabbeinu Tam, so then you would have to wash your hands. But also you'd be making a lot more. So let me summarize. What is for sure 100% that you don't have to wait 6 hours? If you, like I said before, if you go into Mechi's deli, you go into any deli, they have to write a sign at their dairy equipment. If it's milchik or fleishik, they have to write meat equipment.
You shouldn't put them on.
Because you shouldn't cook it with milk. They have to get office. I'm saying, no, not assuming, but they have to tell you that it was all because you're not allowed to take this potato kugel and put it now into milk dish and put it in your microwave and put it in your oven. Okay, but you're not allowed to dip it now into kutach. Basically, you're not allowed to dip it into kutach now. But you don't have to wait 6 hours. You don't have to wait 6 hours. You don't even have to wash your hands because we're not being makel matzad tafshil or tafshil. It's not. We're being makel. The kula here is a kula not barnat. It's a kula matzad not barnat. If you go into Mechi's Deli and you bought a piece of potato kugel or potato knish or vegetable soup, why are we being makel? Why are we not saying that you have to wait 6 hours? Because we're saying, lagabe, if you want to dip this potato kugel into sour cream, no. When the Gemara says dogim shalom b'kaida, olu in mizbashlu loy. But lagabe, waiting 6 hours, then we're going to make and we're going to hold like most Rishonim that said that dogim afilu mizbashlu b'kaida, and we're going to say, they hold, you're allowed to take this potato kugel and dip it into sour cream. You're going to tell me I should wait 6 hours? I don't have to wait 6 hours. Come over and I don't have to wash my hands. I'm being makel mitzad the din of not banat. Okay, and that's bottom line is that's the extent of the kula. Really, lechatchila, you should only be makel. A yois, even though the shach was more makel, but a yois that there's so many big poskim afterwards that were choylek on the shach.
What about a dairy equipment with a piece of food that was made with meat equipment together? Let's say you have a veggie burger, you put it in the microwave. That's milk, and then somebody makes fries on a fellation pan. It's aimed.
Allowed after we make it so much on us that we hold. So we see that the Ramo was makel that you can eat one after the other, lavdafka together, not lavdafka together. But back to your question, here's really what I want to get to. What about kids? What's this a circumstance? First of all, kids. Like I said, kids come back from your wife made milchik for supper. It was a hectic day. She decided, you know what? Minik Yisrael Thursday night, a lokshalat. We're going to do also Wednesday night lokshalat. Because that's the easiest thing for making for supper. She already cooked up a pot of lokshan. She put in the cheese. The kids come home. Yeah, yippity do. They had flesh, but we didn't need any meat. I don't know why, but the kids are like have fleshiphobia. We didn't need any meat. Oh, but I had a couple of French fries. So there is room if you hold like the Yad Yehuda Mamish. In my mind, there's a little room to be makel because I don't think that the Ramah really was makel medin not parnaf. I think he was makel medin. We don't follow Rabbeinu Tam when Mamish. You fried an egg in schmaltz, and you tell me not to wait 6 hours. It doesn't look good, and that's why it says, "Ein l'shanas minig, vein lifritz geder." Miu, in a pot, a fleshig pot, or it's sugi gos nabissel schmaltz accidentally, even if it's not bottled b'shishim, it could be makel. That's the way I think you could learn the Ramah. So I think for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, b'derech klal, we should follow the Chumra Dike Mahalach. The way I'm reading the Ramah, apparently most poskim are not reading it that way. But, your kids came home from school or circumstance where something was cooked in a fleshik, to the extent even the French fries, if you have a suffix, in Lamashal, what happens if you don't know, if you mamish know that they're doing French fries in the fryer, it's mamish, it's like saying taking a knedel out of a chicken soup. But if you have a suffix, you don't know if the French fries, because maybe they made the French fries in the oven. So if you have a suffix, there's already a suffix b'chlal. If this, I think that Rabbeinu Tam could be relied on sometimes, but hoylech yoshur, even though always in my mind I was following the shach, but I see now that even within the shach, there's those that say that the shach only meant that you gave Julio the pot to wash, and then Yukul didn't wash it well. So it's tiny cooler. It's not the way I ever learned the shach. When I learned the shach, But me and my couple again, the Shachmei, he just took me knockout that he didn't. But if you added a little shuman, he meant the same thing. That's the way I learned to shop. But anyway, bottle daitim if they daiton. This is a very important thing. We don't chas v'shalom play milchik and fleishik. Meaning Yisrael Torah is to be very machmir legabi this. But still, everyone will agree that if it was a clean pot, then you don't have to wait 6 hours. Now you're going to tell me maybe when it was a mechiz deli in the same time in the oven with the potato kugel, you given chicken and it probably didn't happen. If it happened, you can rely on the Rabbeinu Tam. It's not like a suffix to Raisa. So then rely on the Rabbeinu Tam. Yeah, it was very good. So one more time, let's summarize. If you could be makel not to wait 6 hours after at something that was put in meat equipment, if it was clean, or it's reasonable to think that it was clean, and you don't have to wash your hands afterwards. But if it was not clean, clearly not clean, and now you're lying on the shach, or worse, that there's a shash, that there was a little bit of meat that actually got in here, so Lanius Daiti, there's room to be makel. But you'd have to, maybe for children, and then Taki should wash their hands. If they came home from the school, they touched so many things, they have to wash their hands. But whatever, you could rely already on the Minatah. Huh? In the fleshika oven? I don't see a problem. Because it could be why the shas the ovens are clean. There's no piece of meat b'shas. There's no piece of meat b'shas ma'aser to say that the equipment is clean. So the blues are I don't see a problem. Okay, we're ready. 11:15. Time expired. There's another 2 very interesting shilas, but we'll deal with it next week. There's 2 very interesting shilas. A guy called me. He went to Costco. He already bought fish, and someone told him it's mutter. No, nothing. No symbol. Okay, we'll talk about it. And then another interesting shiloh. It was a whole side. You could see that it's a salmon.
Oh, it was sliced.
No, it wasn't. It was a side of salmon.
So it didn't have sivan anymore.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a salmon. Okay, it's already part of the. You're giving the teretz in the shiloh. Okay.
Train this.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Slochat.
All right, how many people watched?
Me.
So we have a Mazuman. Okay, do we have a Kollel or a Levi or with the Yisrael?
I don't. I was about to that's almost like a lot. And so much you watch like now never volunteers. And you have to watch it. It's like the big styrofoam
Volunteers.
that comes in. We have to watch him do it.
Yeah.
You have to watch him. They have to
Yeah.
They have to send the knife.
The call, but you what?
All right.
This guy.
They
won't watch.
They
Even if you don't watch, okay, you'll watch.
get money.
They got one.
Yes.
You're not making Zima?
Need a volunteer. Who's going to lead us?
You do it.
What? I didn't want to just grab it.
Oh, now you get this close.
Okay.
So it takes 75 to
Senator